Welcome to the official podcast of the Irish MMA Association for our latest updates on the Irish MMA straight from the horse's mouth. My name is Ryan the Hulk Spillane, and in today's episode we have a 6-second roundup of the latest International IMMAF stories, an interview with our featured competitor of the week, Kiya O'Sullivan, announcements pertaining to junior and senior team selection for the 2021 IMMAF tournaments with Andy Ryan and Danny Corr, and Philip, the honey badger Mulpeter, is a special guest with a rapid-fire MMA-ish questions. Right, let's get into it. So, to kick us off, let's hand it over to Andreas Jojo, IMMAF's social media manager.
This is your 60 seconds roundup of the latest IMMAF international news. This week, an announcement was made on the relocation of the IMMAF 2021 Youth World Championships to Sofia, Bulgaria, as a result of the COVID-19 situation in Turkey. The dates remain the same at July 30th till August 1st. National teams now begin their selection process worldwide. The Estonian Mixed Martial Arts Federation was accepted as a member of their National Olympic Committee, granting official recognition of MMA as a sport after 15 years of dedicated work, providing great hope for many countries such as Ireland in their ongoing battle for formal recognition. Following a hugely successful talk at the first IMMAF Thought Leadership Panel in April, IMMAF has set up a task force to make recommendations for safe weight management in MMA competition. The panel consists of Dr. Mike Loosemore, Clint Wattenberg, Ben Crichton and Chris Kirk. UFC Hall of Famer Forrest Griffin has accepted an invitation to join Athletes Commission in IMMAF. The role of the Athletes Commission is to ensure that an athlete's viewpoint is at the heart of all policy decisions relating to competitors. Griffin commented, "IMMAF has shown the power that MMA has to break barriers and unite us all in the most engaging sport in the world." For further details on these stories and more, visit www.immaf.org.
Thanks, Andreas. Some really exciting developments on the international scene as always. Moving on to our featured competitor of the week, this week we caught up with Kiya O'Sullivan. As a key member of one of Ireland's most formidable fighting families, Kiya has represented Ireland and won a silver medal at the first ever IMMAF Cadets MMA World Championships in Rome in 2019. Let's hear about her MMA journey and what she considers to be the most memorable experience of representing Ireland.
My name is Kiya and I'm 18 years old. I started training jiu-jitsu and judo at about 6 years old, and my dad was a boxing coach, so I was just kind of doing boxing with my brothers at home. And I've pretty much trained all since then. I stopped doing jiu-jitsu and judo when I was 12 and just started training full-time MMA in CMAC. And currently my brother is coaching me right now. And I'm looking forward to going to the adults IMMAF, and I eventually want to be a pro MMA fighter. That's pretty much it.
How has the lockdown affected you? How have you gotten on through that?
I'm pretty lucky because I literally live with my coaches and I have a gym like 5-minute walk from my house that me and literally just my brother could go up to if he wanted to. So I was quite lucky during the lockdown. I never really missed too much training.
What's next in line for you when we come out of lockdown? Do you have a fight in mind or a specific goal?
Well, I will be looking to have an amateur fight, but I definitely want to do now the adults IMMAF because I'm now 18. So that's what I'm looking to do. But I hope that I can get in some amateur fights before that, but it's kind of hard for the girls, but hopefully I can.
Do you have like a final goal in mind? Is there a certain place that you're aiming to be in X amount of years?
Yeah, I definitely want to be pro and hopefully be a champion and be able to make a successful career and make it pretty much my full-time job. And buy a house and do everything with MMA. That's pretty much what I want to be able to do.
Can you tell us like what your favorite story or favorite experience was from competing in the IMMAFs?
I think probably the fact that I was the first fight. Like I didn't even know, like, because you're so focused and you're just like ready to fight. But I was told after, like, you were the first fight for the youth championships, and I thought that was really good, especially since it was 2 girls as well. It just really shows how much women MMA is coming on too. So yeah, probably the fact that it will go down now in history that I was the first youth fight ever. So for the IMMAFs anyway, that was probably my favorite.
That's amazing. So if anyone wants to find out more about Kiya, you can check out her featured article on the IMMAA Instagram page or the IMMAA website. Kiya, if people want to follow your journey, where can they find you online?
Well, just probably Instagram. It's just Kiya O'Sullivan. That's what I use the most.
Brilliant. Okay, thanks a million, Kiya.
Thank you.
Truly inspirational stuff there from Kiya. She's definitely one to watch out for in the future. Moving on to our main topic now, I caught up with Team Ireland coaches Andy Ryan and Danny Corr to discuss some exciting upcoming opportunities in Irish MMA, including the introduction of a new National Irish MMA Championship tournament, the squad sessions for the selection of the Irish international team, and much, much more.
Okay, so here we are. We have the squad pulled together. Mr. Danny Corr from Northern Ireland, Mr. Andy Ryan from Team Rhino Dublin, looking after the Irish team that is hopefully going to compete in the IMMAF championships abroad over the next few months as we come out of this pandemic. So we're going to talk about the road back to competition. So the first thing we're going to talk about is squad sessions. So Andy, do you want to give us a bit of a rundown on squads and how they're going to work and stuff like that?
Yeah, so as the last time when we started this whole process, after the first couple of trips away, we knew that we got to build a squad mentality in Ireland. We watched the Bulgarians, we watched the Swedish, we watched all these countries build this good squad session, and a good squad team. So we had started them before I think it was Italy and Bahrain last year. We had squads going and they were really, really good. So our plan was to run them more regular through the year between a couple of different locations and get that whole squad, be part of that Team Ireland buzz going. Yeah. With COVID, that sort of kicked us in the ass a little bit. So we are going back to that. The squad is going to be under any member of the association. You do not have to be an elite athlete to come and do a squad session. You're going to come and learn and train with some of the best. But if you are that elite athlete and you want to go away, you have to be on that squad session. There's no superstar involved in the team. Everyone's on the same playing field. You put the work in, you get rewarded. The whole thing with the squads is a big, big thing. We want you training in your club. We want you bringing your club experience to the squad. And then hopefully we'll get club coaches getting involved. We had Miles Price and Philip Mulpeter and we had Paddy Hewlin. We had guys like this last time, all coaching on the squad sessions. So the squads are the big one. First squad is going to be June, and the date will be released soon. And it's looking like Belfast, the first squad, and then the second squad will probably be Cork then. So we're going to try and go between Belfast, Cork, Dublin throughout the year. But you must attend the squads unless your leg is hanging off, your head is hanging off. None of this, I can't get off work for an hour on a Saturday morning, or I've got to go and get my hair cut, I've got to do something. If you can't travel in your own country, how are you expected to travel to Russia or the other side of the world to compete at a high level? So you got to put the work in here. So that's my little rant about the squads anyway.
And just to kind of clarify, the steps to get on the team start with number one, you got to be from a club that's a registered member club of IMMA.
Yeah.
And you've got to be a card carrying individual member of IMMA yourself.
Yeah.
And then you've got to show up to the squads. Those three in that order. And forget about anything else until you do those three. Don't even ask about it other than that. And everybody is everybody is welcome to turn up to the squads and register your interest. And the selection process starts from there.
Yeah. And the other thing as well is, sorry, Danny, the other thing as well is when you're on that squad, if your medicals are out of date, we will ask you to have them in check. Not a week before you go or a day before you go. You will have to have them at least a month before. If you haven't got your medicals in place, you're going to lose that spot. It's too messy. IMMAF have told us time and time again, they're not going to accept late medicals. We've got to have the medicals done and dusted. So it's all part and parcel of being a professional athlete, professional, elite, amateur. You have to have all these small steps in place.
Yeah. I was just going to say, Andy, that process you're talking about is nothing new to any sport, especially sports looking for Olympic recognition. Yeah, it's in boxing, it's in judo, it's in karate, it's in every sport out there,
Yeah.
So a couple of things that we wanted to kind of talk about as well is some of the events that are coming up. So we do have the international events. The first one will be the Europeans in St. Petersburg in Russia, which will be August 16th to 21st. Then we've got the youths, which will be the last weekend in July. And sorry, that will be before the Europeans for the adults. The youths will be obviously the 12 to 17 year olds. That will be in Turkey. And then you've got the Worlds later on in the year, which are the end of November and the start of December in Kazakhstan. But between just kind of on the national scale, we're going to have a couple of events that, you know, for people who can't make those trips or who don't get qualified for these events, we do have other stuff going on. So, Danny, will you give us a kind of a run through of what you're planning on the 4th of July? It's not fireworks and
4th of
parties.
July. Yeah, well, it's Independence Day, freedom from COVID. That's what it is. You know, we're going to get out there and fight again. So, yeah, I've been working very closely with the council up here. It's Antrim and Newton Abbey Council. Strange enough, I'm on their sports committee, so we've got a good inroad there, you know. So we're booking a venue. It's going to be, we're originally looking for the Valley, but it's going to actually be better. It's going to be the Antrim Forum, which is a renowned venue up here, a big venue. We're going to try and have either 1 or 2 cages there and have like an event from 18-year-olds upwards. Hopefully all the elite fighters and competitors will be allowed to be on that, but also people coming up and trying to get that break into the sport and getting their fight game ready again, you know. So a big event, full day. We'll try and get as many fights in as we can. So really looking forward to it. And working with the council directly, it means, you know, with all these restrictions getting lifted, we're going to be sure of having an event, you know.
So particularly for the amateur fighters who've had to kind of deal with cancellations of events in the last few months, this will probably be a good one to kind of be relatively sure that you're going to go ahead with.
Yeah, you know, unless we're going back into the bad restrictions again, which I very much doubt, you know, it will go ahead. I mean, the council people are very, very happy to have it going ahead, and they like what we do up here, you know. So it's not a waffle that we're working with the council. I'm on them every day, and also the Department of Communities. So yeah, looking forward to it. Yeah.
And then, of course, the other thing that we're delighted to announce that we are going to run a national championships in Ireland, and we're looking at the second weekend in September, so the 11th, 12th of September, and we're looking at doing this as it would be great if we had done this in March, if we could have done it in March, and we would have been able to select a team for the year going forward for the international events. Look, it is what it is right now. We're going to do this the selections as best we can for the Europeans, which will be in August. But then this one in September is going to be very important for anybody that's looking to go to the Worlds in November, December. So we're looking at a 2-day event, like a national IMMAF event. So the top 4 in every weight division all the way through, semi-final and final. We'll be able to rank all our fighters from 1 through 4 in each weight class, and we'll have a very clear indication as to who should be the number 1 seed going to the Worlds.
Yeah, and the important thing with that is that guys who are thinking, okay, well, I'm not the number 1 or number 2, I'm not going to enter them, you know, elite championships. But the likes of the event that Danny's running in the north, that will all stand to you. You know, if there's someone can't take a place and you're coming to squads and you're meeting events and you're training, you're doing all the bits and pieces, them options could be there, because with the COVID and with the way people are, a lot of people can't afford to go. These are self-funded events, so places will come up. And that's the other thing as well. If you do take a place, make sure you can go.
Absolutely. And just as we are talking about going on these international trips, we were kind of going to discuss about, you mentioned earlier on that we would like to have coaches involved. So do you want to talk us through some of the things that we say prospective coaches who want to come to help us out in the IMMAFs? What is it that they can do, and what is it that they're expected to do while they're there?
Yeah, so you know yourself, and Danny and yourself have been at these events, and there's a lot of work to do. It's not just sitting in the corner and warming a guy up 20 minutes before a fight. You're there a day early. You're up at 6 a.m. for weigh-ins, medicals. You know, fighters can't do anything without a coach there to sign for them. And I have no problem with a club coach coaching his player, because he knows him better than we know, you know. And we will be there to help out. We'll be the number 2s, number 3s, and carry the bucket and help you out. But if you do want to come as the club coach, you meet all the IMMAF standards. You know, we have a contract set in place, the way what you must do and what you can't do and how you behave. You're there as a team player. You must get up in the morning with your fighter when he's got to check in. You can't sit in bed, or you can't go off sightseeing. You're there with him. You're part of the team. We don't want club coaches coming and thinking that, you know, we're separate. You know, if you want to come as part of the team, no problem. You'll need to take out your IMMA membership. You should have that anyway if your club is involved. But you know, you should have your coaching course done. You haven't got it done, we can look at that. But it's all the little things in place. You must be there as a team player. It's a big thing. Fighters have a lot of pressure on them. There's a lot of meetings to go to. There's medical meetings. There's loads of stuff that goes on, draws and health and safety. And then with COVID now, it's probably going to be more stricter. Yeah. So you have to be there to help your fighter out. Like little crazy things people don't realise. You know, Bahrain's a fine example. The venue is not at the hotel, so there's a bus going in the morning. You have half the hotel trying to get on 1:30-seater bus in the morning. It's a nightmare. So if you know your fighter's on at 9 o'clock, you got to be on that 7:30 bus or 7 o'clock bus that morning, the very first bus. You got to be down there fighting for a spot to get on. Guys don't realise that. You know, guys are turning up late, running into the venue, and the name is being called. That can't happen. You know, we would have team meetings like we did last time. We every evening, myself and Dino and Liam would sit down and we'd have a meeting and say, okay, what happened today? Who done this? Who done what? Okay, who's up in the morning? Okay, Liam, can you pick up A, B, C, and D? They have no way of getting down. Okay, listen, me and Dino had to walk down one morning. You know, so you got to be on the ball, I think, you know, and you got to be ready and to work with the team. Great to have club coaches involved, but you got to be there for the week to help everyone out.
And there's no glory in it for the coaching team.
No, it's hard work.
Hard work. That's exhausting almost, you know.
Yeah.
And you just mentioned contracts there, or agreements that we have. So I just want to kind of shed some light on that for anybody who's listening in. The last few events that we've had a couple of hiccups. We've had some behavioural issues. I had two of my own Muppets here that got us in trouble for Team Ireland, and they had to be reprimanded. But and not just Ireland, it's a tournament. Everybody's excited to be seeing loads of different people, but there has been some behavioural issues, and IMMAF have now included a new penalty point system for clubs, or sorry, for countries, that they will be ranked down on the medals table if there's behavioural issues with each individual country. So this is something that we have to be very, very careful of, not just from a points point of view, but just from a national pride point of view. We don't want to be the ones that are causing problems. So just based on past experiences, based on what we've learned from other trips, we have a set of rules that have basically written themselves over the last few years. And if you are traveling to an IMMAF event, there's 4 different types of people that are going to travel. We've got the athletes themselves, we've got the coaches, we've got volunteers, and we've got parents. So particularly for the youth, we've got parents. And each one of those, if you're any one of those and you're traveling to an IMMAF event, we have an agreement that we wish for you to sign. And it just lays out black and white. Don't do this, don't do that. If you agree to this, then this is what you got to do. And it's all above board, and then nobody can complain before or afterwards. And we'll come away smelling of roses and representing our country with pride.
Yeah. That's especially important when you're talking about the juniors and the under 18s, Liam, you know. So
yeah, because people think they're on a holiday, Buzz, or that's the thing I'm trying to, what does my head in with it. It's a week-long event. So if you do get knocked out week 1, well, your roommate or your teammate is competing the next day, you got to be there to support them. Okay, enjoy yourself, but do it respectful. There's different nationalities and different type of people there, you know, different religions. You got to be respectful to everybody, you know. And the big thing was the drink, especially with adults and the juniors. Listen, you're adults, you know, but you got to behave yourself as well. It's not a holiday. You're going to represent your country. Yourself, more important, you're representing. And if these guys are looking to make it to the UFC, whatever it is, you got to start from this. You know, you got to head held high, chest out, and behave yourself.
Yeah,
absolutely. Was that all our topics? I'm after forgetting what our last topic was.
Just another thing as well. Just it might be a small thing, but guys will be told. So if you're the 15 guys or the 15 girls that have qualified and are going to the Europeans or Worlds, you will be told who you're rooming with. This is your room buddy. This is who you're staying with. You won't be chopping and changing hotel rooms because it's mental and it's dangerous. We need to know who's where for our own safety protocols, especially if we go to some of these countries where the security and armed police are around. We need to know A, B, and C is in room 1, 2, and 3. You know, we tell you what room to go to. You have a room buddy. It's not a holiday. You're not saying, well, I'm rooming in with this guy, and you know, it doesn't work like that. You know, you're going as Team Ireland. You're not going as, you know, me and all my mates or Liam and all his mates. You're going as Team Ireland. That's a big thing. So before you go anywhere, you will be told before you get on that plane you are sharing a room with A, B, C, or D. That's a big thing as well.
One thing that we didn't we kind of alluded to it, but we didn't really kind of make it official there. But Danny, can you just confirm that we are traveling as one Team Ireland, but there's a transitionary period there, and what does that include, or what does that mean for selections?
Ulster will still be able to be represented, so if that's your choice, then that's no problem. We'll be traveling as one big squad, but if you choose that you want to represent the North and Ulster MMA, that is still there. That's able for you to do.
Yeah.
And in terms
you'll still be welcome. We're still part of the team, and we still look after you. There's no problem there.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, Andy and Liam, we stick together. We're over there anyway. These events, so
we always have them.
We'll sit together in the warm-up rooms and talk. We're almost one team anyway. So
yeah. And just in terms of the number of spots in each weight category, we have some leeway on that for now, because of the transition period over the next couple of years.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. We'll have the option to have more spots probably available for people.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And it just means as well for the squad sessions that we do have, for the athletes that are coming, there's going to be extra bodies there that they haven't rolled with or sparred with before.
Yeah.
It's going
to, brilliant.
It's all positive going forwards.
Yeah, we had before COVID, we had that event up in Belfast, Andy, and Liam, and it was brilliant. The night before. Getting to train and compete with some top athletes was fantastic.
Yeah. And just so people listening are wondering, when we do run that event, I know when we run our national championships, they will be recorded, proper fights will be on your record, even though record shouldn't be a big deal as amateur, it will be recorded with Topology or ShareLog, whatever. The one in Belfast, are they going to be exhibition fights or are they going to be recorded fights?
I think it'll be recorded fights, yeah. We're going to make a kosher event, so people can get
I think the other thing is, well, guys have to relax and say, the record in an amateur game is not too much of a big deal. Because you're competing, you're not really fighting. You're going to be going to an event where you could be competing every few weeks. It's not the end of the world if you lose a fight.
You're not going to be selling tickets. You're not going to be selling pay-per-views. You're up there to fight and enjoy yourself and get yourself back into that game again. So in a good standard of an event.
Okay.
So there you go, folks. If you do want to get involved either as a coach or as an athlete, remember 3 steps. Number 1, make sure your club is an affiliate member of IMMAA. Number 2, make sure you as an individual are a card-carrying member of the association. And then number 3, get yourself to a squad session, because there's nothing happening without squads. If you want to be on the team and you think you're too good to be on the squad, well then you're not on the team. It's one rule for everybody, and we're going to be strict. We're going to make sure that everybody has that level playing field. So there you go. So guys, thanks a million for jumping on the podcast to clear all of that up. And we'll move on to another section.
If you're interested in any of the events or opportunities mentioned here, keep an eye on the IMMAA website and social media pages for registration, and make sure to get your IMMAA individual membership card from www.immaa.ie. Next up, we have head coach of IMMAA Gym SPG Quarrelton, Philip Mulpeter, who's going to put his MMA and general knowledge trivia to the test by kicking off our first ever IMMAA rapid fire MMA-ish quiz.
Okay, so we have Philip Mulpeter, head coach of SPG Port Arlington, kicking off our IMMAA 10 questions quiz round. So we have 10 questions and you have a 1 minute time limit. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
What does the acronym IMMAF stand for?
The acronym which?
IMMAF. IMMAF.
IMMAF. What is it?
You can pass.
International Mixed Martial Arts Federation.
Great. Okay, what country was the 2018 IMMAF European Championships held in?
Rome.
In what country?
Italy, sorry.
In what year did UFC 1 take place?
Jet 94.
What car company makes the models Micra and Qashqai?
Nissan.
Spell guillotine.
Guillotine.
Name the first Irishman to fight in the UFC.
The first Irishman to fight in the UFC. Tom Egan.
When is your wife's birthday?
25th of April, 1985.
Who is the president of IMMAA?
John Kavanagh.
What is 9 multiplied by 12?
912 is 96.
Name any Irish gold medalists from the IMMAF championships.
I'm just laughing at myself here. Gerard Harris.
So that's our 10 questions. We did go a little bit over the time, but you did quite well.
Oh my God, so funny. You caught me on the hop there.
You got Albina's birthday right. You didn't need to throw in the year there. 9 times 12. I think you said 96. So
oh, it's
maths wasn't a strong point there. It's 108.
No.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 7 out of 10. Not bad. you're setting the standard anyway. Brilliant. Listen, thank you so much for taking the time to do it, Phil, and thanks for setting that standard there going forward. You'll be the one to beat next week.
Cheers, thanks a million.
There you have it, folks. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you have any questions related to any of the topics discussed, feel free to reach out through the IMMA website or IMMA online on Twitter or Instagram. You'll also find us on Facebook. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast and let your training partners know that this is the #1 spot to the inside scoop of what's happening in Irish amateur MMA.